Okay, we've got a new version about to appear. Recruitment Force is its name. As you can see, there's a completely new design and overall. Tabs are a little bit more clear. Got a little, the green has been softened. We've got a great new product, and with it, we've got some really neat new features which I'd like to introduce to you. Firstly, on the front page, as you can see, we've still got my to-dos, a little bit of a dashboard view to help you see what you're up to. So you got your workflow, your placements, events. We've now got invoices, whether they're uninvoiced placements or uninvoiced proposals. A proposal is a new part of the database, or overdue invoices. We also have access to your Twitter feed for your company, so you can set up your own Twitter from the very front page, and of course your own LinkedIn site to go with it. So that's from front page. Each of these windows can be opened up into a full-scale window, so you can get more access to or more viewing power of these files within your own database. So that's your own LinkedIn profile. Now let's have a little look at what we're doing elsewhere out of the system. So as I've mentioned, we've got proposals, we've got some neat features in the candidates, which I'll show you as well. And in the administration section, which is where I'll start, we've got a few other little bits. We've got a placement section, an invoice section, and now a template section. So you can create your own templates. So let's have a look at, say, the CV send, for example. Here's a bit of text that you can use that will be used within your CV send processes in your workflow, and the instructions of how to get the information pulled from various tables. So it's very straightforward and very easy to use. Invoices and placements, as with all the other files, it's just literally storing a little bit of information about the placement, the price of VAT and so forth, and you can print those to PDF or have them automatically emailed to your client. So another great new feature. So let's close out this window. And we'll go into proposals first of all, because this is a new section. Proposals just literally allows you as a user to create your own PDF, in a way, contract to send to clients based on various informations. I've used this one purely for us as a database company. We've put in some information about selling a product. So you could have this about how you do your recruitment processes, put in some images, have some line items that might relate to the costings of what you do, decide which parts of this information you're going to have, show in the PDF, and then also the currency you're going to use. And when you're happy with what you see there, all you need to do is click on the PDF button, which will then run through a whole load of various processes in the background, creating this PDF for each section. Then it will merge the PDFs together. I'll change the size of this a bit so you can have a little look at what it's created. Some introduction information based on that record that you've seen, right down to a costing and billing summary at the bottom. It's very simple, very easy to use, and very stylishly designed. So that's the proposal section, pretty straightforward. Let's go into candidates, because that's obviously the next place where we've got some really neat little things happening. Just going to the very first record here. As you can see, we've got a few little logo designs. We've got the go back button, all very much based on previous versions. But what is nice is this. Let's actually go into a candidate record. So as before, we've got the photo. We're storing a little bit of information about the candidates and their preferred locations and jobs and current employer and so forth. What we've added to this is in the communication tab you can now create a note, so that your note sections can be all notes, emails and letters can all be stored in the communication tab rather than in the notes section, although you can still have a notes section completely separate with your free text notes. So the choice is yours. You can just keep everything in the communication tab, or you can use both. In the CV and Docs, nothing's changed there except we have the auto acquire, which I'll show you in a minute. The skills section's pretty much the same, the workflow, events, history of where you've been placed and your previous employment, custom fields as before. We've now introduced timesheets, so you can now log your timesheets in the system, and I'll show you that from the job side of the database. But more importantly, we now have access to a live LinkedIn feed from every candidate within their own record. So if they're changing their LinkedIn profile but not updating you, your information is automatically updated, and you can expand that window as you saw before for each particular person within the system. I won't load this now, but each individual person can have their own record opened up. We've also very cleverly got two little things here. I'll pause this before it starts. a little clever little section here that within this tab on the left hand side we've got a Google search using the name of this candidate. So you can hopefully find a little bit of information about that candidate from his Facebook, his profiles. Obviously you have to read between the lines as this information is based on names, and there could be millions of John Anthonys out there. On the left hand side, if a candidate, for example, has done an interview, or you've created an interview with them, it can be posted onto YouTube and ported directly into the database record.
How may I help you? Right from iPhone 4. Where is the iPhone 4?
We've obviously used a little bit of a joke there to put in instead of a CV test. Now for what we call the pièce de résistance. In this little window here we have, I'll delete this little tab here just so we have a blank field. We have a live search window, which is just phenomenal. If we click on this little tab, so I'll open this up as a separate window, which you can do. So you can keep this live search going wherever you want. If I type in, say, Java as part of my search criteria and London, what this is now doing is searching within LinkedIn, Visual CV, a few other websites. So just click on search, and within a couple of seconds we get a truckload of results. Okay, let's make this window a little bit bigger and I'll show you what we're doing here. It's just fantastic. So scroll through, let's say we like this guy, or we think we like this guy. You can just click on it, get a preview of their CV, make sure this is the guy you're actually thinking about, have a little scroll through. Yep, that's the guy. All we need to do is grab the text, literally just grab hold of the header and put the header in the field, and you've imported that guy's live CV, visual CV record straight into the database. If you can imagine how phenomenal that can be in various instances, just straight from a live search. In the future we will introduce that as a bulk import for the results of that search criteria. So let's do that with a completely new record, because obviously I've done this overlooked record. So create a new record. I'll just create a blank record. And again we have our automatic CV search pop up. So I'll do that again in a separate window. It's just easier to see the results of that. Make this a little bit bigger. So again we'll just do the same thing. We'll do Java and London and hit search. This is looking on the web, it's not looking in your system. So you've looked in your system, can't find someone. Find someone who we like. So let's say this guy, let's have a little preview of his CV, make sure it's who we want. Got Terry Price there. Now these are live CVs, okay, so I do apologize. We will delete the data once we've concluded this. So we like Terry, we just literally drag him into the system, and we now have Terry's CV live in the database. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is this, all we need to do at this stage is press a little button and paste the CV in to the database. So we've now got the text from his visual CV straight into the database here, where we can run a CV parsing process and pass the CV. Or of course you can do it manually, as we've been able to do in the past. Absolutely phenomenal.